part 2 of managing relationships with your family of origin when you are a CSA survivor, although some of this would also apply to other forms of abuse that occurred within your family. And this is from The Courage to Heal, and it's the 3rd edition. Visiting your family should not be taken lightly. When you are actively in the process of healing from CSA, time with your family may seem more like work than a vacation. Stop doing it for the wrong reasons. Because it's expected, because you have to prove you can do it, because you're supposed to, because one member of your family wants you to work things out with another, because you want some time off to relax. If you do visit your family, it should be because you have made a decision that visiting is in your best interest. You should know why you're doing it, and you should prepare yourself thoroughly. Ask yourself, why do I want to visit? What do I hope to get out of it? Are my expectations realistic? Is this the right time for me to go? Is this what I need at this point in my healing process? How do I usually feel during and after a visit? Do I have a reason to believe I'll feel the same or different this time? When you do make a visit, make it on your own terms. You can visit on non-holiday times instead of the more loaded traditional holiday times. You can opt to stay in a motel instead of sleeping at your parents' house, or stop by for an afternoon instead of for a week. You can bring a friend along for support, or plan to visit on neutral turf or at your own home. Visits are an opportunity to dig for facts, to unearth forgotten memories, to discover more about your history, to compare your memories with those of others, and to collaborate on putting together the whole picture. Sometimes a visit home is a chance to rebuild a broken relationship. Other times, it is validation that yes, it really was, and perhaps still is, as bad as you remembered it. This kind of information is painful, and you may not visit again as a result, but it is useful fuel for the healing process. On having a relationship with your abuser. To the survivor. Many survivors choose to break off all contact with their abusers, but some try to mend the rift. While this rarely results in a healthy relationship, the process of trying to come to resolution with the abuser can be a useful one for the survivor. If you are interacting with the abuser, you may want to set the following guidelines as a basis for your communication. And then it goes into advice for the abuser, but I think kind of knowing what is advice for abusers can be helpful to survivors too. I'll just kind of do the summaries, I'll just do the highlights. It says, let the survivor control the relationship, honor the survivor's need for distance, honor the survivor's anger, acknowledge full responsibility for what you did and its effects, don't make any excuses because there are none, say that you're sorry, make a commitment that you will never act inappropriately again, never use the survivor as a support person in your own struggles, go to therapy or into treatment yourself, ask the survivor if and how you can be of help. Do what she asks or what the victim asks. Don't expect that you can make up for what you did. Don't expect the survivor to forgive you. This next part I find particularly heavy, so kind of warning. It's called, But Honey, I Love You. When a relative who has abused you, not protected you, not believed you, or still doesn't support you in a wholehearted way, says, I love you, you are apt to feel confused or disturbed. Somebody's anecdote. It infuriated me that she could sit there, smile sweetly, and say, honey, I love you. That was her answer to everything. But honey, I love you, in this weak, sad little voice. You may sense that there is a strong feeling behind those words, but also that there are strings attached. Quote-unquote love in your family may mean keeping silent or being bound by obligations you no longer want to meet. Many survivors were even abused in the name of love. Genuine love is a commitment to act in someone's best interests. Somebody's anecdote. When my mother tells me how much she loves me and how sorry she is, I don't want to believe it. If I believe she does love me, then I have to make sense of the fact that she allowed such a terrible thing to happen to someone she loved. Even though I know, for her, that's love, I know that's not really love. When you love somebody, you do whatever is necessary. And she didn't do that. Her love is not the kind of love I can believe in. She doesn't have the instincts of the lioness for her cubs, and that's the kind of primal love I needed. This fierce, clear love isn't available to many survivors from their families. Instead, you may be offered love that is smothering, manipulative, controlling, or desperate. Love that doesn't take into account your needs is not really worthwhile. And love that requires you to compromise your integrity, your values, or your healing isn't ultimately love. Yet, it can be terrifying to say no to any kind of love. You want it. The need for kinship and closeness is a basic human need. Even all the songs tell you that love is all you need. If the love your family has to offer is the only kind of love you've ever known, it can be hard to trust that something better will take its place. When there is some real caring mixed in with a distorted need, it can be even more difficult to turn their love down. But when you start saying no to the kind of love that drains you, you open yourself up to recognizing and receiving nourishing love. Don't buy the BS. Family members often lack understanding or compassion for the work you are doing. Their outright accusations or naive blunders can be terrible. Sometimes the insidious nature of a relative who is trying to be supportive but slips in a little jab now and then can be harder to deal with than clear-cut rejection. With practice, you can recognize and reject these barbs immediately before the first strains of self-doubt and confusion set in. To help, we have compiled a list of some of the worst and most common one-liners used on survivors by their families. If you hear one of these, don't believe it. It doesn't matter that your mother says she has your best interest at heart or that your grandmother has always given you good advice before. The responses are most likely based on the fact that they are uncomfortable with what you are doing and want you to stop. These stock lines don't have anything to do with reality, but you're bound to hear at least a few of them. When you do, remember that you're not alone. You read them here first. It happened a long time ago. Why don't you leave it in the past and go on? You should stop living in the past. Now, what exactly did he do? Your father or uncle, brother, grandfather, etc. would never do such a thing. You've always been crazy. Now you've gone and made this jump. You're just jumping on the incest bandwagon. Because doesn't everybody want to jump on that bandwagon? Like, what a weird thing to say. What do you expect me to do about it now? It must be karma from a past life. You must have been a very sexy little girl. How did you bring this on yourself? Are you going to hold on to this forever? Now, honey, it wasn't that bad. It only happened once. What's the big deal? But he didn't penetrate you, did he? But didn't you enjoy it? Why didn't you stop it? Why didn't you tell me? I don't believe it. A mother could never do that to her child. Give your brother a second chance. He really misses you. It's best to forgive and forget. Your therapist has brainwashed you. She implanted these memories in your head. You are the victim of false memory syndrome. You must be a lesbian if your mother molested you. You must be a lesbian because your father molested you. Develop an instant bullshit deflector. When one of these comes your way, scoop it up and throw it back. Tell the person that you never want to hear that particular bit of advice again. Ran out of time, I'll do a part 3.